in charge. As a courtesy of Carson's Funeral Home, funeral services for Mr. Bryce, Mr. Albert Bryce, will be held on Tuesday, 3 p.m. at Trinity AME Zion Church here on Freedom Mill Road in Gastonia. Quiet hour will be observed at Black's Funeral Home in Clover, South Carolina, Monday evening from 6 until 6:30. That's the last rites for Brother Albert Bryce. Breathe on me. Just let the breath of the Lord breathe on me. Good morning, Mr. Reniel. Good morning. I'm fine. Well, I guess you can. Okay. Okay, well, it's not the next week, though, huh? Right, I know. Okay. You doing all right? You feeling okay? Okay, well, come on. All right. Okay. My wife, she's going to come back down and pick me up.
How's she feeling?
I like as bad as the why did you do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why do you want to mistreat anybody?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why do you want to do that? Just why? Why? If you can give me the answers to why, then I might be able to either go along with it or at least condone it.
Well, let me show you what we're. You see, this is a great big Labor Day parade in Gastonia in early September '34, just as the strike was beginning. And that was the first time they'd celebrated Labor Day here. And look at all of those thousands of people out.
But I'm just wondering, does the local paper, the Gazette, know that you got this stuff?
Oh yes, you see, they did this story.
Well, that's
the
Gaston Observer.
No, I haven't talked to the Gazette.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The Gaston Observer, there's so many people
yeah.
who don't bother with the Observer.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering,
Yeah.
I know Bill Williams would have a fit to get on with this kind of stuff.
But let me show you another picture here. Show you, they all marched, you see, they all marched down. Here's another one. You see, they were with Renlo, the Renlo local there. And they all marched down to the this is Albert Henson, one of the organizers, up making a speech in front of the Parkdale Mill. But this is the thing I want to show you. Look at this picture. See, there's just hundreds of them here.
So where did you get all these pictures?
Judy found them in the National Archives. Look at, I mean, in the Bettman Archives. Look at that. They're all down in Municipal Park. You see just thousands of them.
That's right.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing.
And yet nobody here seems to be that remember all of that, you see? It's just kind of as though it didn't happen.
Well, I'm sure that the power structure of our country or our community don't want this to be known.
Well, that's...
See, it's like I was telling you that the forest now is opening up this new thing to show folk a whole lot about what has happened with the county and the textile industries. But then they're getting paid, I believe it's $25 per family to go through it. And you can imagine what families going to get through there.
Of course, yeah.
The poor person that's on fixed income, that's drawing this $350 a month, they can't stand $25 to go down there and look at that.
That's right, yeah.
And it's very unfair. It's just
Yeah.
the people who need to be taught these things don't get the opportunity to be exposed to it.
Well, what we found is that the people who run museums now are beginning to get more interested in this kind of thing. You know, they've got we go over at Canopolis, for example, you see the museum over there with the cannons and all of their family tree and the machinery and so forth, but almost nothing about the workmen. But
That's right.
some of those people are saying we should have something here. And the people who taught them that were the blacks in the civil rights movement. Very few museums now are without at least some nod to black history, even if it isn't complete. And we're hoping that working class history can can get the same kind of attention.
Well, I really enjoyed going to Charleston last year
Mm-hmm.
and going through the slave market and all of those things there that contributed to making Charleston what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Even the slave shed, they had it there where they bought and sold them. And,
Yeah.
it can be depressing if you allow it to be, but it's so educational when you get above that part of it and think of the contributions that was made.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of people who's made some beautiful contributions
Yeah.
in making things well.
You know, one of the things that's difficult is when we look at these pictures, it looks like this was just a white story.
Right. Yeah, well, you see...
Because we don't see the blacks who are backing us up.
That's right. The people who really... The slave market, so
That's
to speak.
right, yeah.
The bullpen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad, he was a plumber. And I remember him telling me that he had dug Dallas up with a pick and a shovel 4 times and covered it up. And I said, well, a pick and shovel don't fit my hand. But, you know, it was what he had to do.
Well, here's something from... You see, that's what happened to the people if they struck. They got put out of the mill houses. And you see, that's an eviction.
Right.
That's in LaGrange, Georgia.
Well, they had the upper hand on you. Still have to a big degree.
Yeah.
What they do now, the federal government has come in and said that this is not right for you to do certain things, and some people got enough guts to file complaints.
See, now that's why we're so amazed at Mr. Graham having the guts back then. These are the troops that rounded up 126 men and women in Noonan, Georgia, and put them in barbed wire pens in Fort McPherson. And you notice over here.
Oh, 1 minute. Okay, there you have it. It is 14 minutes before 11 o'clock here at WGAS in South Gastonia, North Carolina. And our time is really winding down on us, and we're still here getting calls and getting information with the brother, George Stormy. And if you by chance have any that you'd like to pass along to us, do it to us quick, because, oh, that phone ringing, that might be one, so it's all right with me if it is, and I appreciate it. So we're going to put Willie Neal Johnson back on here one more once. I was trying to get the Leroy Mills' number, Nobody's Child, but I haven't been able to get it as yet, Leroy, but we certainly want you to know that you've been thought of, okay? Okay. We're going to catch that phone as we let you know that this is being brought to you by none other than Mr. K, downtown Gastonia. This is where you find your clothing at Mr. K's. Big, small, thin or tall, he's got the clothes to fit you all. And the sale is on right now. You better believe that, because summer's about gone, whether you know it or not. Fall is on its way. So, Mr. K is hanging right in there, taking care of business, and all you got to do is let him. So check him out, won't you? I know you'll enjoy the opportunity of doing so, and he will let you too. So why don't you do it today or tomorrow? Good morning, Christian Radio. Oh, fine. How are you, ma'am? Well, I'm glad to know that. Which Currents is that? Oh, her daughter. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, I shall do. Okay. Thank you. You're doing all right. That's great. That's great. Okay. All right. Good morning, Christian Radio. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, there you have it. And of course, we have another piece of information passed along to us that little Miss Currents will be speaking this evening, 6 o'clock, down at the Old Roosevelt High School in Clover, South Carolina. And she extends an invitation to you to come and join her. Miss Currents, the daughter of the Miss Annie Currents here of Gastonia. Okay? Okay. And we were telling you that we've only got about 12 more minutes, and we're going to have to get out of here. And certainly we want you to give us your call in the event that you haven't, and let us know that you do have some information that we can come by and pick up in regard to the history on the textile industry of Gaston County in the 30s, okay? You might have been exposed or have a parent that was exposed. You might have some information that might be of vital importance, and we do need that because the film is being made, and the brother George Stormy, his son, and his secretary is in our area picking up that information. You might call me, and I'll be happy to pass along to you a contact number, or you might jot this number, 1-800-786-1767. That's 800 number. He is with the New York University and is in our area, and we're so proud to have him here. And certainly I'm delighted to have him do what he has done this morning with me here on our program. And we're looking forward to a closer relationship, a closer working relationship, as we have understood together what has been happening for many, many years. And if we don't take care of it, who will? We got to pass it along to our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. Things are better, but they're not at their best yet. And the good Lord expects our best. Might not be much, but it's our best. So, okay, let's do just that. Here we are, one more once. Okay, Susan. Okay. Yeah, it's getting winding down. I don't know. It didn't matter anything. How you doing? I'm awake. No. Oh, it sounds like Reese Stroud. Okay. It's pretty hard for me to forget voices. It's pretty hard for me to forget voices. She's doing pretty good. You to know that we'd like for you to be good to somebody today. Say something good to somebody, something good about somebody. And if you do those couple things for me, I promise you one thing. I'll be me.
As we look back and see your goodness and your guiding hand, we just want to take time out here now and say, Lord, we thank you. Lord God, as we come today, at this time, we know that we are sinful men and women. We are not worthy of the least of all your blessings. We know, our Father God, that our sins are many. But Lord, we heard you say in your word one day, come and let us reason together. You said, though our sins be as scarlet, you'd make them white as snow. Lord God, forgive us today. Cast our sins away from us today. Turn over our pages on this Lamb's book of life. Whatever you find there that hinders your presence and your complete control in our lives, we pray that thou wouldest somehow remove it. Oh God, as we come to this close of this day, we pray your blessings on those who are sick and shut in sick rooms everywhere. We pray for those behind prison bars, those on the highway, those on the battlefield. We pray for the leaders of our nation while they gather and negotiate for peace. We pray, my Father God, for the man on the street corner today. We pray for that mother's daughter whose head is hung down and eyes are filled with tears.
You're good. All right.
Leave our lives out to be there.
You got it.
Then take us on home with you to yonder Jerusalem. Over there, where every day will be Sunday. Where Sabbath will have no end. No hearses, no ambulance, no graveyards, no cemetery. Every day will be Sunday, and Sabbath have no end. These are all of the blessings we ask in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
With studios in South Gastonia, North Carolina, this is WGAS Radio. The time is 11 o'clock and time for our regular Sunday morning worship service directly from Unity Baptist Church, where through our facilities each Sunday morning, we bring you the services in its entirety. Will you join us now in unity for the morning worship? Well, that's another day.
You do this every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
What do you do during the week?
Work out on the farm,
Oh,
out in the yard.
you're a farmer?
Well, I like to fiddle around.
I see.
I retired about 6-7 years
I didn't
ago.
know that, no.
And I just enjoy. That's what that lady was calling. She
Yeah.
says, "I just want to thank you for the watermelon." And says those potatoes were the best. I just carried a watermelon, laid it on the porch, and left a bag of potatoes there.
That's nice.
Yeah, I enjoy doing that stuff. It's easy.
Oh, it must be fun.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And these people, old people that shut in. One of the ladies that called me this morning, and she calls every Sunday. She's been lying on her back in her house for I guess about 8 or 10 years.
Wow.
And she has the best spirit and the best outlook. Come on, he's got his mic off up there. There it is. He finally recognized it. I could, I'll read the needles here if it don't peak up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a little rest home, 23-bed rest home.
Mhm.
That's my wife's thing, and she liked it. And I sometimes think that's the reason why she had this problem with her heart.
Hmm. That's hard work.
It's hard work, very
It's very
stressful,
hard,
very
sure.
stressful.
Yeah, sure.
I guess about 10, 15 years ago.
Into just some music, and I'm filling in actually today. There's another guy that's usually here, and I'm like one of the directors here for the station, and I just help out.
But is it anything like his show?
Oh no, there's nothing like Bob's show. This is an original right here. It started
Yeah.
with this station, and it's just an original. Everybody loves this show.
Yeah.
It sells for over twice the regular price of our advertising. If we sell any advertising on this show, they pay double or more for this show.
Wow.
For Bob's show. Yeah, because it's the most popular, and we have callers, and usually Bob's he's usually very busy.
They worry you to death.
Yeah. He's on the phone constantly. We have had people have to be in here just answer the phone. When it gets so bad at times.
I want you to pass that to Glenn.
Okay.
You might see him this week. See. Okay. This is a letter to the National Recovery Administration in Washington, D.C., complaining of violation of the Code of Fair Competition for the textile industry to the trade industry. It was written January the 5th in 1934 by one of our fine members of the area against Eagle Yarn Mills Company in Belmont, North Carolina, the Cotton Manufactory, and the Comb Yarn Division. The complaint was Mr. Bruce Grimm, Route 3, Gastonia, North Carolina. His complaint is saying that I am an inside employee required to work more than 40 hours per week, operating 3 machines, waste feeder, waste beater, and opener, and I'm paid less than 30 cents per hour for my work. My employee due me extra compensation from July 17, 1933 up to the present date, which is January 5, 1934. This letter comes from Mr. Bruce Grimm, Belmont, North Carolina. May we use your name if necessary? That was a question asked him. His answer, yes. And this is where it was signed as a witness, Mr. Claude McLean, or Charlie McLean, of the area.
Now that must have taken a great deal of courage for Mr. Graham to have put that complaint in.
I'm certainly sure it did. But this is what makes us make it.
Yeah.
The courage that one might have.
And that's why we're digging this stuff out of the archives and trying to get it into the hands of his grandchildren. We left the family a copy of this letter, and then they'll also get copies of the things we're recording.
Well, I shall be in close contact with this family since I know them, and I'll be having copies too.
Oh, that's
So
good.
we'll pass it along.
Great.
Thank you very much. thank you for your coming, and thank you for the time you
Well,
spent with me today.
And thank you for access to your radio listening audience.
No problem at all. Anytime you can come.
As Mr. Graham's niece said, if you get on Bob's show, half of Gaston County is going to be listening.
Well, I don't know about that, but we're happy to have you here. And those who had their ears on, they got it full.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
I'll tell you what.
Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 1 Chronicles, 2 Ezra, Nehemiah.
Okay. Now listen, you can't wrestle
Okay.
too much.
All
once
right.
we
Yeah.
start,
I know. Okay. I'm just looking to the
Yeah. Okay.
I
Now,
had a Jeep before I bought this. We surf fished out the coast,
uh-huh.
the sand, and my wife had a straight drive. She couldn't drive it, so she wanted to get rid of it.
I wanted
So I swapped it in on this later.
We should go. Okay, Jamie.
I just have to do. I have to do one thing. I just need to tape these.
Okay. How far is it from here to the Loray Mill?
Around 3 miles, I guess. Something like that.
Well, when you were traveling from the Grove to go down to the parade, how'd you go?
We went up our line and come back down Main Street.
How many of the folks had cars? How many of the folks had cars when you went down to that Labor Day parade?
I didn't understand this. What you?
Back then in '34, when you went to the big Labor Day parade,
Yeah.
how many of you had cars?
Oh, very few. Very few on automobile.
Then they just walked from.
Oh yeah. Most of them walk. Streetcar. We had a streetcar run this line.
Yeah.
Right here was a stop. Right here. Right there. We had a steady streetcar. It had stops along the different way. And there was taxis. There wasn't no buses.
Uh-huh.
Just taxis.
Did
We
you?
rode ride to town for 7 cents on the streetcar, trolley car.
Do you remember riding those trolley cars?
Oh yeah, here where I always caught the trolley car right here at that crossing right there.
Uh-huh.
That was a stop bar. You could get on a trolley car and go to Plum to Firestone for 7 cents. You get in town, get a transfer, and catch another trolley car going out the other side of Firestone.
Ask him, in his car, how he decorated his car to go to the parade.
When you went to the parade, what did you do about your car?
Well, I drove through the parade. Yeah.
Did-
Come on after the parade, we come on back home.
Did you have it all decorated?
I had banners on each side.
Okay. I'm gonna need him to say that again in a full description. I had him just do.
But he just doesn't remember. We asked him twice before. He doesn't remember what it was.
He said it was packed with people.
Yeah.
So you can ask him.
Yeah.
Just have him describe it. That's all.
When you went down that day, do you remember Could you talk about the people in your car?
Well, it's been a few years back. I just can't remember what all was talking about. I think I had my mother in the car. I think she was one of them. I believe she was my mother in the car with me.
Can you say that again? We got some disturbance.
I'm sorry, could you say that again? We didn't, we just bouncing then.
I didn't remember who all, but I think my mother was in the car with me. I believe she was in the car.
Was your mother working in the mill at that time?
No, she never worked in the mill.
How did you feel about what your father and you were doing with the union?
Well, I felt pretty good about it.
How did your mother feel?
Well, she was going along. She didn't have much to say.
Do you remember the music then?
No, I remember the music, but I don't remember.
Yeah. We're going to talk more about that when we get down to Main Street after we go to the Luray.
We should get him some driving without talking as a safety. Tell Jamie.
See, this is all changed since back then. This is all new highway. That's what they call the ditch. It wasn't there. We had a pretty nice little town back in the 30s and 40s. All business, no shopping centers.
What was your favorite store?
Well, I can't hardly call. We shopped at Belk's a lot. It was an Eford store back then too. This might not as large as Belk's was. And most of the rest of them was private owned.
Did Groves ever have a store of their own, a company store?
No. That was before my days. The company store was.
I guess you heard tell about them.
Oh yeah. They bought their clothes, groceries. I've heard a little talk about it since sometime when come payday they didn't draw no ticket. They done spent all the take it up to the company store.
Well, that was a kind of natural connection because many of the people who finally put their money into textile manufacturing had started out as merchants.
Yeah.
So the connection between the company store and the factory was pretty direct. For example, the Stows were merchants before they put money into cotton mills. I didn't realize that until I started reading about this
South
history.
Carolina had more company stores than I think in North Carolina did back then. That's what I've read about it and been told about it.
Mhm. How did you get paid off?
Well, when the first payday did put the whole family, if it's more than one, in one ticket, and give it bookkeeper would come around and give it to them and tickets, and all the whole family would be in one envelope. All the money would be in one envelope.
So you didn't, at first you didn't get your own pay?
Well, it was my daddy. They give all that one ticket. They give it to my daddy, you see, and all that whole family of all was working. That come out one envelope, and all your names on it, and what you made. But that changed on up years.
Are we gonna turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna take you plumb out and come down.
Okay, but take your
I can turn now, but
is your blinker on?
Huh?
Good.
It's still on.
Thank you. We're just hearing it, that's all. Boy, that's an old church.
Yeah, used to be a Church of God church. But they built on down the Landwood Road down here, and they sold it to some other denomination. I don't have a church there.
Well, I'm interested in that trolley line, and after we go back home, Judy's going to stay down here. She's going to be getting a lot of pictures, and I want her to get pictures of that trolley line. I'm sure that this time around.
It run out, Rupert, with up the Grayson curve where it went to.
I think so, Ernest.
It up
This
this
should
street.
be.
It went on out about a couple of blocks. The trolley line did. Right down Main Street here. I mean, down the main street, right in the middle of the street. And this out here was the Farstone Village. I mean the town part out here. They had shoe stores, grocery stores, most any. They didn't have to go to town most time. Most time they could get shop right in here.
It wasn't called Firestone then, was it?
No, low rate. Low rate. Now, where you want to
We want to go to the main gate, gate number 1.
wonder if this is it right here.
No, that's
Huh?
gate 10.
That's
9
gate-
and
I
10.
mean, that's it right there. You want me to go over here and park?
No, Ernest, that's not it. That's 9 and
Huh?
10.
He said gate 1.
Don't you think that was it?
No, that said 9 and 10.
Huh?
Gate 9 and gate 10. Here's gate 1
Right,
right
here.
here.
Right here.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think, Lord, this?
Park in.
I'll have to go back up there and park for me. This is it here, ain't it?
That's it.
We'll go back over in the parking lot.
Okay. Better hold up. So there was a tent out here the other day. Do you know what that was? I couldn't figure
Well,
out.
They're always having some kind of events and things up here.
Uh-huh.
See the houses.
Those are old houses, aren't they? That's pretty loud for us, Ernest.
That too?
Too loud, yeah. We have to cut it off. Thank you. That's a real old mill. It's one of the few we've seen that doesn't have all the windows bricked up. Okay, we'll look at it and see. I think that we'll ask Mr. Passmore if we can stay here.
Well, there is a name.
Wait a minute, let's see if Judy's going. Okay, all right, sir. I'm George Stoney.
George, Bill Passmore.
Mr.
Ernest Moore.
Ernest, good to see you, sir. Bill Passmore.
What's going to happen here with the old Lou Ray?
Well, as it stands right now, it appears that the plant will probably be demolished unless someone comes along and decides that they want to make something out of it. And we have a local high school here that was built in the early 20s that a guy who owned a large company here came in and made an apartment complex out of it. That, I don't think that'll happen here because it's just too big, and the upkeep is just unreal. How much money it costs just to keep it up.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I have mixed emotions. I've been here all my life. I grew up 2 houses from the plant, and my mother and father both are retired from here, and it's sort of sad. But we got to move on. You can't stop progress.
Yeah. Well, Jamie and I have a dream that we could end our film with your blowing up this old.
I tell you what, the way this thing's built, it's going to be hard to blow up. It's just the way it's constructed. But it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see.
What are your first memories of this Lou Ray plant?
Oh, way back there, old Lou Ray. I don't know too much about it, but I live in East Cape, talking about it a lot. Little thrill.
You remember your first day here at the Lou Ray?
Well, when I was young, I used to have a dance up here at Community Hall. We'd come up
That
here.
used to be right across the
All right, we come up here about every weekend and have a dance over and pull off a few prize fights over.
right.
That's about the most I
You mean legal or illegal prize fights?
Probably legal. But where he's talking about is this grassy knoll over here. There was dormitories over there that were for the single men and the single women who came down from the mountains or came in here to work. And in the middle there was a cafeteria. Downstairs there was a bowling alley, pool. There was a shooting range on one side, and we had a bandstand in the middle. Had a band that came out and played, and there was a lot of things going on back then.
Yeah.
And let me say this: even here was a small parking lot, and back in the Lou Ray days, or even before, right in this area here was a tennis court. In the back, in the old pond, mill pond, there was a swimming place for people to go swimming around there. Up here was a bank, drugstore, dry cleaners, everything that you wanted.
Dry
We had
goods store.
dry goods store.
They had about everything.
Yeah, and then down on where they call Greasy Corner, it was a movie theater, barber shops, everything that you wanted.
Right where we turned back to left, right across the street down there.
Greasy Corner.
Greasy Corner, because all the lint heads went up there and they were greasy, so they called it Greasy Corner. And the band, of course we sort of feel proud of it now to be called a lint head. Back then, if you were called a lint head, you were on the wrong side of the tracks. But that was part of living on the village.
When were you born here?
I was born in 1944, April 14th, 1944, and like I say, I grew up in 2 houses from the plant here, and it was interesting. Everybody said, "Well, you grew up on the mill village, and wasn't that bad?" And no, it wasn't bad. As I said, we had everything. I mean, I can't remember ever going without anything.
What would your daddy do? What was it all picture?
My dad was a fireman. Yes, sir. He tended the boilers, and he also was a security man and done wound the clock and the things that you're supposed to do for that. But and my mother, she was a splicer. And matter of fact, she carried me on the job when I was a child.
Weave department.
Right. So
She carried you on the job.
yeah, before I was born. And you know, like I say, you know, a lot of people think that living and working in a cotton mill was bad, but you know, there was a lot of closeness. Do you not agree? Everybody was close, and at that time, all the management, 90% of the management in the plant came up through the ranks. Very few people who were in management were from outside. And you know, I think that's always been one of the successes of Southern textile mills. Would you not agree?
Your daddy being the foreman, he got full time about all the time.
Yes, he worked 7 days a week.
Cut down to 2 days a week. Your daddy
Work.
would work.
That's right.
You're lucky.
Yeah. And it was because the boilers had to run.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you guys had to keep steam in the plant. So that was part of it. And at that time, all the fire protection was steam operated. So that boiler had to run. They had to have steam. Because if you had a fire, then you had steam pumps there to run it.
Well, now this is.
You remember your first day here?
Sure do.
Was it when you came to work, since you knew the other people around, was it like working with friends?
Yes, it was. Because I knew almost everybody here. See, I came to work here in the shop doing whatever. I was 18 years old and didn't know what else to do, and my daddy said, "Well, son, you got to go to work." And I came here, and it's just sort of like a home. And I've been here in November the 26th of this year. I'll be here 30 years, and it just seemed like yesterday that I came to work. And it's been a good life. I have no complaints whatsoever.
Well, this is one of the few mills we've seen that kind of looks like it used to be.
Right. Well, there's really nothing changed. The main office has been added to, the personnel office has been added to, and the wing of the mill was put on in 1919. And that's basically all that changed out front. Now, if you go to the back, we filled in the pond, and we built a treating unit there, hot stretch unit. And basically, that's everything's the same. Well, I have to go back and say the warehouse. The warehouse has been changed. We have a brand new modern facility there.
How did you keep the windows and not brick them up and air condition the place?
Well, air conditioning would have been so expensive it was just completely impractical to do. So what we've done, we put huge fans in on the back side and pull air across, and it works real well. It's a lot better than it used to be.
You grew up, you said, just 2 houses from this mill.
Right.
What does it sound when this mill shuts down?
Oh, God, it's quiet. I can remember, we used to shut down on the week of the 4th, and you couldn't go to sleep at night because it sort of hummed you to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me just a second.
Sure. The reason I was crowding it because I was miking it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I was miking.
I know. It's just we're gonna need at times. I could pick them up if you're. I was picking them up fine anyway.
Okay. So that's right.
I don't know.
How you gonna feel when they move it?
Well, I have mixed emotions. I'm not sure whether, we know that there's going to be a reduction in jobs, and not everybody knows that they're going to have a job. I don't know whether I'll have a job. So, I've been doing what I've been doing for 17 years, the particular job I have now, and I don't know whether I won't welcome that, to go do something else.
If they knock her down, you're gonna take a piece home?
Oh yeah, I've already got a piece. I got a piece of the rock.
What is it?
I've got a brick that we used to have a smokestack in the back, a huge stack, and when they tore that down, I got one of the bricks out of the stack.
Almost every place we've been where they've knocked down the mill, people who work there said, "I got me a piece."
Yeah.
Some doorstop or.
And the other thing that I've done over the years, I'm a history buff. I like history, and I've collected up stuff. If we change logos or if we change this or change that, I've got a piece of stationery with the other logo on it, or So I've got stuff from here, there, and about that I've accumulated over the years. Like when we changed from different spindle sizes and bobbin sizes. I've got one of the old spindles and one of the old bobbins. Yeah, just,
Do you have pictures of the Japanese owners?
no. We don't see those folks much.
I see.
Some of in the tire plants, they have people there constantly. We don't have anybody here, and I think we're lucky. Undoubtedly, they feel like we know what we're doing.
Okay,
I think we do.
Let's go up to the 3rd floor.
Okay.
Would you want to be on this side of him, please? And okay. Oh, we were lucky to hit you. A history buff. That's wonderful. What was the Passmore that you knew? Who was that?
What's that?
You knew a Passmore, you said. Yeah.
Was his name Colonel? Sometimes think of all the people who walked through this gate.
Oh boy,
Over
that's the
years
truth.
and
Yeah.
years and
Oh
years
my
and
gosh,
years.
yeah.
Because when I was growing up.
Let's stay right here.
Okay.
Bill, I'm sorry. I'm going to ask you to say all that about the change of the gate. I didn't realize we got. Okay.
Well, let's see. What were we saying?
Yeah. Talking about shift changes.
Oh, at shift change when I was growing up down the street. At that time, there was somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,500 to 3,000 people working here. And when they came out, they just came out, it seemed like in droves. They kept coming and coming and coming. And now there's very few people here, and just in 5 minutes, everybody's gone. By 5 after 3, and the first shift is the largest shift here, everybody's gone by that time. And it's sort of sad and sort of amazing how we have come to so few people. But back then, labor was cheap. And it was labor intensive. I say labor was cheap, maybe it wasn't cheap.
Uh-huh.
Pointed that out. How come?
Why'd you point that out?
Well, it looked like they've organized here.
About, yeah, we organized about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I don't, to be honest with you, I really don't even remember the date. Since I worked in salary and it has absolutely nothing to do with me, then I really don't worry about it.
But that's just incredible compared to remembering what happened here before.
Well, it is. Knowing that my father fought against the unions in 1929. He was very active. I know you've heard in Mr. Williams' book talk about the Committee of 100. My father was one of the members of the Committee of 100. And he fought against it. I fought against it. Whatever I could do at that time. I don't agree with unions, but it's here. We've got to work with it, and we've made the best of it. Matter of fact, I think that at this plant we have the best relationship with the union in any of the plants within the Firestone, Bridgestone organization. We have an excellent working relationship, and it's because of management and union officials seeing that it was to their mutual advantage to work together, and we have. I mean, we have really done a lot together, but that doesn't mean that I particularly agree with what the union stands for, and I don't agree with it.
No.
They know that, and I know that.
Okay.
Well, your job, you can afford to.
No. Even let me say this: even if I was a clock card member, if I still worked out there, I'm not sure whether I would belong to the union or not, because I just don't believe in the union philosophy. we all drive. If we all drove Chevrolets, it'd be sort of dull. So you know, everybody's got to do something different.
Okay, let's go upstairs.
Okay, I
Now-
gotta get all you folks signed in.
Okay.
Okay,
1 second, I'm just gonna wait for this price to go back.
Okay.
You don't mind.
during the early strikes, it was as Mr. Williams said in his book, there was a committee of 100 who fought against the strikes, or fought against the Union, and my father was one of the committee of 100 and participated in that. And I'm not saying everything they did was right, but they did what they thought was right at the time. And again, the majority of the people here were non-union people and did not believe in the union.
Jamie, want to make? We don't need any of this now. Just a moment. You ready, Jamie?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay. Slow down a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You got 2 senior citizens with you.
I'm not used to walking with anybody. I'm used to taking off and going.
I know.
Morning.
Yeah.
This is a picture of our new plant.
Oh, that's great.
One story, spread out.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to move equipment around in this old building. Everything's got to go up or down or sideways
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Okay. Can you? This is going to be too
Oh,
strenuous.
yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Okay.
There are no what I want to call great architectural features in this plant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just very straightforward construction. Nothing, really wild.
Yeah. Look at those old lines. Isn't that interesting?
Good morning. You can get on TV.
That's that.
Let's wait. Just slow down just a minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
We don't know young folks.
But yeah. Well, they got a lot of equipment. Jamie, just get us going up this way now.
From the bottom looking down.
Yeah, I would think so. It might be just let them get ahead of us.
You okay, Robbie?
This would make a nice home.
Yeah, but there's a lot of liability here.
Yeah.
You remember when they used to paint the corners white?
Not one part.
You people spitting. See this right here?
Yeah,
See where it's painted red there now?
yeah.
And you can see with the paint buildup, all the corners used to be painted white. Keep people from spitting in them.
I'll be done.
That's true.
Yeah.
This side, actually.
Floor is vast.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a big, vast, open building.
Yeah.
Now, let's walk up now.
Okay. A little too fast. Is that what you imagined it would be like?
See the
Yeah. Look at that.
Spinning room.
spinning room.
Yeah.
When I came to work here, this was the last of the cotton spinning, and this area here on the other side of the wall was the last of the carding. Carter Traveler.
Ah.
Travel.
I'll be done.
Carter Traveler's still in business. They moved with the change,
Uh-huh.
but you can see the vastness of the building. That wall
Yeah.
there. I mean, it's huge. I can't even remember what the measurements are,
Yeah.
but it's huge.
Yeah. We were talking to some of the people over at the museum. They want to take it over,
Oh, do they really?
but I don't think they've got it. This wasn't any of the higher ups. This
Yeah.
was just some of the people who worked there.
Oh, you know, I'd love to see them have it.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Gaston County
Yeah,
Museum.
that's right,
The old whistle from here is over there.
Ah.
You should get them to show you that.
I
That
did.
belongs to me.
Oh, you've loaned it.
I've loaned it, yes.
Yeah.
And we had a board out front for World War II called the Honor Roll.
Yeah.
Everybody's name was put on it that
Yeah.
went to service,
Yeah.
and it had Firestone on it, and that's over there too.
Oh,
I
okay.
gave them that.
Yeah.
And I tried to share with them a lot of stuff that I've come across.
I think you're very wise. Also, by the way, and I've learned this because I'm teaching at a university that gets a lot of stuff like that. Loan it to them, an extended loan,
Right, that's what I've done.
and then deed it to them, so that at the state taxes you can save money.
Right.
No kidding.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
Have not thought about that at
Yeah.
all. But
You may win the lottery and be a millionaire.
it
and
may
then-
be worth $250,000.
Right now, for me, it doesn't matter, but
Yeah.
you know, I mean, Claude, how different is this from what you remember? How different is this from what you remember?
Well, this is our condition you're hearing now.
Yeah.
No, this is not air conditioning.
Well, I think that's what you're hearing is upstairs receiving.
No, well, what you hear upstairs is twisters running.
Which one? Oh, well.
Right. And then the looms were on the bottom floor, but in here was all picking. I mean, the picker room was outside, the carting was out here, roving was right along this area here. The spinning frames were down this. That was the last of the cotton when I came here.